In the beautiful town of Cana in Galilee, a joyful celebration was underway. Laughter and music filled the air as family and friends gathered for a wonderful wedding feast. The tables were laden with delicious food, and everyone was happy, sharing stories and celebrating the new couple. Among the guests were Jesus and his mother, Mary, who had come to share in the joy of the special day. The celebration was in full swing, with dancers twirling and children playing, and it seemed like the happiness would last forever. The atmosphere was one of pure delight, a perfect beginning for a new life together. As the party continued late into the evening, Mary noticed something was wrong. She saw the servants whispering with worried looks on their faces. The host of the wedding was looking anxious, and the flow of wine to the guests' cups had stopped. Mary quietly went to investigate and soon discovered the problem. The wine had completely run out. This was a major issue for a wedding feast, a source of great embarrassment for the host family. With deep concern in her eyes, she approached her son. She leaned in and whispered, "They have no more wine." She knew in her heart that if anyone could help, it was him. Jesus listened to his mother's words, his expression calm and thoughtful. He looked at her and then at the worried servants, understanding the weight of the situation. After a moment, he turned to the servants standing nearby, who were unsure of what to do. He gave them a simple yet strange instruction. "Fill the jars with water," he said, pointing to 6 large stone water jars standing against the wall. These weren't small jugs, they were massive, each one capable of holding 20 to 30 gallons, and were normally used for ceremonial washing. The servants were puzzled by the command, but they recognized the authority in Jesus' voice and trusted him without question. They hurried to the well, filling their buckets and pouring water into the huge stone jars until every single one was filled to the very brim. Once the last drop of water had been poured, Jesus gave his next command. "Now draw some out," he instructed one of the servants, "and take it to the master of the feast." The servant obeyed immediately. He dipped a ladle into one of the giant stone jars, the same one he had just filled with plain water moments before. As he lifted the ladle, he gasped in astonishment. The clear water he had poured in was now a deep, rich red. A wonderful aroma, like that of the finest aged wine, rose from the ladle. A miracle had happened right before his eyes. The water had been transformed into wine. The servant, still in disbelief, carefully carried a cup of the new wine to the master of the feast. The master, who was responsible for the entire celebration, had no idea where this wine had come from. He took a sip, and his eyes widened in surprise. He savored the taste, letting the rich flavor fill his mouth. This was not just any wine. It was the most exquisite wine he had ever tasted, far better than what they had been serving at the beginning of the feast. He was completely astonished by its superior quality and could understand how the host had saved the best for last, which was the opposite of the usual custom. The master of the feast called the bridegroom over, still holding the cup of miraculous wine. "Everyone brings out the choice wine first," he exclaimed with a cheerful laugh, "and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now." The bridegroom was just as confused, but a wave of relief washed over him. The guests, hearing the commotion, began to murmur with excitement as they too tasted the new wine. As the news of what had happened spread through the crowd, all eyes turned to Jesus. This incredible act was the first of the signs through which he revealed his glory, and his disciples put their faith in him, understanding that he was truly someone special, sent from God.